Hi everyone, here I am about to show you how I made some really good keto version of a stuffed chicken breast with a some breading on it, mixed up almond flour and Parmesan cheese. So there's my ingredients, and I'm going to go over what I did individually. I used a packet of sazon. I used some adobo, some ground garlic powder, some cracked black pepper, and I already seasoned my chicken. I actually cut my holes to stuff my stuffing into 3 breasts. I have more than that, but the rest of it I'm going to just bake it for and cut up for salad for later. But I got 3 chicken breasts I'm going to stuff. Now this whole plate with the stuffed chicken breasts, and I'm going to pair it with some green beans, is about 365 calories and 10 net carbs. So it's a really good meal. You can pair it with anything that you want. This chicken, pair it with any vegetable you want. If you want to put some rice with it, you can. However you want to plate it, it's up to you. Now my stuffing, I'm using spinach, frozen spinach. It was cheap, so I have a bag of this. I don't really like spinach, but if I mix it with something, usually I can do it. So there's the macros on it. My feta cheese, I love feta cheese. Now this cheese does not melt like a normal, like a stringy cheese, like a cheddar or an American cheese. So don't expect any strings of cheese coming out of the stuffing when you cut it open. So I'm mixing my ingredients for my stuffing now. Now there is more Italian seasoning in there. I tried to make a time-lapse video of me mixing it up, but I'm still learning my phone, so it didn't quite work. But I did put more Italian seasoning on the bottom, so nevertheless, I'm mixing it. You want to mix it and incorporate everything pretty much evenly. You can add as much or as little of seasoning as you want. I just chose to keep it really simple and very basic. I'm really trying to keep this super keto as well. I mean, you can, like I said, you can add. You could even use different vegetable. You can use kale. You can use peppers. You can use anything. You can even use a different cheese. If you want to do cheddar, Monterey Jack, anything else, any other kind of cheese, you can use other kind of cheese. You don't have to use feta. So I went and stuffed them already. And my other chicken, like I mentioned earlier, that's not stuffed, it's just regular. I'm just baking it off to use for salads for work for the week. Now I'm going to make my breading, which is going to comprise of a 1/4 cup of that almond flour and then a 1/2 cup of that grated Parmesan cheese. I know I mentioned a little earlier about the Parmesan flavor. It's not really going to have a robust Parmesan flavor. It really just helps stretch the flour. So there's the cheese and the flour mixed together. Now an interesting fact about this flour is it's 4 net carbs for a 1/4 cup of the flour, which is what I used. Now if I were to use a 1/4 cup of the all-purpose flour, it would be 23 grams of carbs. So this is definitely a better alternative, especially if you're trying to watch your carbs, if you're diabetic and you're trying to watch your glucose and your insulin and stuff like that. So that's a good idea. This is a good alternative, I should say. Now I'm heating up my oil and preheating my oven, getting ready to get my chicken into the oven. I'm using an egg to help seal up the breading for it. I did this for some shrimp the night before last. It actually came out really good. Those shrimp were so pretty. So I figured, let me try it for the chicken. Let me see if it works. My grease was too hot. I had to let it cool off for a second because I didn't want it to burn, but now it's cooled off a bit. We're going to throw the chicken breast into the oil. We're going to lightly brown it on each side before we put it into the oven, just to kind of seal in the flour and also the seasoning or whatever. I already flipped them over one time. And another thing I wanted to mention about this particular breading method, or the ingredients in the breading I should say, is that there's not a lot of breading that comes off of the chicken. I've noticed that other ways I've breaded, you have a heap of stuff floating around in the oil. This one, you have a little bit, but it's not really that much. So I like the fact that it's not a lot of waste of the product going on. All right, so they're all browned. I got my 3 breasts. They're in the pan, ready to go into the oven. They look so pretty already. Oh my goodness. So let's put them in the oven, 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. I waited until they got to 160 degrees Fahrenheit inside, and then I took them out. I have a thermometer, check the temperature. It's really supposed to be 165, but 160 is good. The carryover cooking will bring it probably to the next 5 degrees. So here's one of the chicken breasts I cut open. As I mentioned, it's not going to be stringy cheese, but the cheese is melted. It tastes really, really good. Chicken is really moist, nice color on the breading. As you can see, the almond flour doesn't overcook in the oven like a breadcrumb or another breading method maybe. So here's the finished product with the green beans. It's really good. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. And thank you for watching. Until next time.